Nick Perler here with Perler Wrestling. You might notice we have a new content creation studio. Established 1999, that's when we started our wrestling academy, and my wife and I left our jobs in Texas and moved back, and things have kind of come full circle and have sort of come to fruition. And so a lot of you already follow us probably. We have a pretty large YouTube channel and social media following, and we love giving advice and sharing content and just helping the athletes to bridge the gap between their goals and success. There's a time crunch here, and we want to be an avenue where you can go very, very deep and kind of get everything that you need. Back in my day, we had tremendous coaches in youth and high school, wonderful men, and I'm still friends with them and still look up to them. But we also supplemented a lot of our coaching and stuff with a book. We had a book. It was a light blue book. I can't remember even which technique book it was, but we learned a lot from that. Sold our four-wheeler, bought a wrestling mat, and my brother and I just dove in. So nowadays there's almost the opposite. There's too much information, too much content. You don't know where to start and where to end. So our goal is to be an avenue and a place you can go very, very deep with. So the plan is to restructure and reorganize our YouTube and our social media videos and content, and really focus on a handful of categories and go really deep within those categories. And just off the top of my head here, I've jotted down a few. One is just a coaching section, how to build a team. Another one would be parenting, certainly college recruiting, girls wrestling. I started my first girls program in the late 90s. We were the first ever girls state champions in the state of Texas. So I've been building girls wrestling programs for over 30 years. We probably have certainly one of the largest girls academies in America. Girls wrestling camp. We have girls coming from as far away as Hawaii, Alaska, Italy, even this year, and Canada. So they come from everywhere to train with us for our boys camps as well as our girls. So that'll be an area from a wrestling standpoint that we focus on. And other areas will be strength and endurance. As you know, we opened a new strength and endurance gym about 14 months ago. And so it's mostly tailored around functional training, which, I got my degree in exercise science years ago, but over just the past 12 or 15 years, a lot of the strength and conditioning and strength and endurance training has gone towards developing the athleticism of the athlete, and not just how much weight you can deadlift. Shifting away from the bodybuilding or traditional powerlifting standpoint, and really just kind of using the strength and conditioning gym to help develop the athletes. So that's something that we're super passionate about, and we have online programs for those as well. And lastly, we're going to have another area of content that's going to revolve around the combat sports. We also opened another gym called Perler Combat Academy. Striking and jiu-jitsu. We have one of the only Lethway gyms in America probably, but certainly in the state of Missouri. And from a jiu-jitsu standpoint, a lot of you following us are already in jiu-jitsu. We actually have a tremendous following within the jiu-jitsu community. Some of you have followed us. You found me on BJJ Mental Models. Steve Kwan does a wonderful job. And, we had like 16 interviews. I don't know, it was like 40 hours, but he boiled it down into 12 or 14 interviews. So some of you have followed us there. So we're super excited about the merging, you could say, between jiu-jitsu and wrestling. If you follow the Penn State wrestlers, a lot of them are into jiu-jitsu, and I've heard through the grapevine that Kale encourages them if they have interest into getting into jiu-jitsu. And a lot of our academy members, they're like, hey, the writing's on the wall. I'm not going to be big enough for football. I'm a class 4, a class 3 athlete. I'm not going to make the softball team. I'm not going to make the baseball team, because some of these athletes are training year round in that sport, and our guys and girls, their main sport is wrestling. So they're starting to give up, and maybe they don't like the team sport politics, which I think a lot of us has had some negative experiences with how the team sport things are ran, and maybe you're just not a team sport kid. So jiu-jitsu is certainly something that a lot of you have probably even either tried or considered, but so we're going to have a lot of content around the combative sports as well. So certainly can follow us on all the social media platforms. Just type Perler Wrestling YouTube. We have one of the biggest YouTube channels out there, but we're going to restructure it and reorganize it and bullet point and really go deep within a certain number of categories. So you can kind of get your PhD in wrestling just by following us. And then obviously follow us on all the social media as well as YouTube under Perler Performance. PerlerPerformance.com is the website. And then we have PerlerCombatAcademy.com and Perler Combat Academy on the social media platforms as well as YouTube. So a lot more to come. Looking forward to it. We appreciate you guys following us, and we're looking forward to blowing up the Perler way and helping you guys to bridge the gap between your wants, your desire for success and this success.